Hey everyone, I want to talk real quickly about the planets and what's going on with them. Because most people only really pay attention to that stuff when Mercury goes retrograde and they think all this stuff is happening. But you know, Mercury kind of comes in to help us see what's actually been happening for a very long time. And there's always planets in retrograde, and for the most part anyway, there's generally a planet in retrograde to offer us a wobble kind of energy and an offering of distortion that allows us to see something that's not necessarily what we would normally see. And so right now, there are 4 planets in retrograde position, and they are Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And those 4 planets, by the way, are incredibly intense when it comes to the energies that they throw off from themselves and we experience here on this planet Earth. We are all in the same solar system, and so those vibrations move throughout it, and they actually affect us here. So it is a very real thing that we are influenced by them. That's why the moon is such an impactful experience for all of us as well. So just as a point of interest, Mercury is in a direct position right now, as is Jupiter, and they are, probably the only two that are really super noticeable by people generally. But Mars and Venus are also in direct positions at this time. And that's the male and female consciousness, by the way. That's the male and female aspects of everybody paying attention to what's going on around them. And so Mars is a male planet, and Venus is definitely the female energy. And they have always been stationary, or at least for the last few months anyway, as we've been a witness to all of the stuff that's going down. Our entire brain is being restructured, and so that actually has to do with the male and female concept, the male and female collective consciousness, as well as the male and female hemispheres of our own brains. And so we've been a witness to a lot of this stuff underway for quite some time now. So you have very powerful planets that are in retrograde positions right now, starting with Saturn, who is really all about teaching and logic and things like that, and it's really causing a lot of people to question a lot of the stuff that they've known for a very long time. And so that's important to note. That's an energy wave that causes a lot of doubt with people sometimes, or at least confusion in some cases, because what they used to know as real isn't necessarily real any longer. Neptune comes in as a water planet, and that actually brings a lot of emotional influence to everything. I have to sit outside, it's just too beautiful. So pardon the traffic as I live on this main highway. But Neptune comes in with this beautiful emotional experience. Now, with a retrograde position, it's offering this wobble. I always call retrograde the agitation cycle of the washing machine. You got stuff coming to the surface and it's being brought up to be noticed and sort of cleared away, but it's not going anywhere just yet until that rinse cycle or that spin cycle certainly comes into effect. And so Neptune brings a lot of emotional stuff, and you can compare and you can combine that with the Saturn, which is all about logic and things like that, and it really brings you to a place of, okay, now I really got some questions going on. Well, now you've got Uranus, who's just gone into a retrograde position after Jupiter went direct on the same day. And Uranus is a planet that brings a lot of extreme energy and all about, who you are, freedom, to be the one you are, and all the stuff that's about that. Well, when it's in a retrograde position, it's actually opposite in that sort of sense. It's offering you questions about that. Who are you? What is your extreme? Are you free? Are you really living your eccentricity? And as the Empress of E, I can tell you that's an important thing to think about, eccentricity. And so these things are important to note. Now, you add Pluto to the mix, and he might be the smallest planet, but that little bugger packs a punch, let me tell you something. He's all about transformation and past life experiences and subconscious blocks. You throw that into retrograde, and now you've really got quite a Molotov cocktail going on. These 4 planets are all causing us to be experiencing the world that we're living in right now. It's influencing us, and what's happening is we're all seeing it. So anytime Mercury throws itself in the mix, everybody sort of pays attention because they all notice that, because all of a sudden it becomes very obvious to us. It's right in our face. We can't get away from it because it's affecting every bit of our communication, every bit of our delivery of things, right? So it's really important to note. Now, Mercury, as I said, is in a direct position. And I'm no astrologist. This is just stuff that I've learned over the years of being psychic and having kind of been in tune with all this stuff for a long time now. So it's really important to note this stuff because it is influential to you. It's impactful on your life, and you're going to know when stuff is going down. You're not going to understand maybe why at the time, but you'll understand once you recognize the planets that are affecting you and the energies, the transmissions that they're sending your way to offer this experience for you. You'll get it, and you'll understand, and you'll be okay because you'll be able to navigate a little bit better. Now, you add moon cycles in with that. The lunar cycles are extremely important for us to recognize. And any eclipses, by the way. Now, we've come through the majority of the eclipses already this year. We've had our double sets. We do have one more coming at the end of the year, and it's going to be paired with one in the beginning of the year. But ultimately, for the most part, we've had our resets, we've had our reboots, and those are what I have always referred to as the Viewmaster re-clicks, or the reboots, as the computer age knows it. And that's when we have a reset for our consciousness. That's what happens. That's why you have them in pairs. It's been my psychic experience, or the understanding of the energy as I've lived it for my whole life here. So, that being said, I do want you to know you're not nuts, you're not crazy, you're extraordinary, and you're in an extraordinary time. And what's really going on is everything that is this giant mess is really just the big throw up of the puzzle pieces so that we can see where everything lands and we can actually put it all back together the way we want it. Okay, the way it was meant to be, not the distorted vision or picture that we've had up until now, the upset, the upheaval, the commotion, the contrast that is all of our experiences up until this point. I was just remarking in a couple of different coaching calls just in the last little while that, you know, there is 1,000 years of peace coming to this planet, but we're not there yet. And obviously, as we see, it's going to take us a little bit of time to get there. So I do feel that that we see about a good few centuries of clean out, clear up, and settle in before that beautiful era of peace does return. And it comes, and we enjoy 1,000 years or more of it before we move into a different vibrational space altogether. I do want you to know there is hope, and there's something to believe in. You got to have faith over the fear. That's what the t-shirt says, faith over the fear. And it's really important to know that it's okay to have fear, because that's really what you came here for. You don't get that when we go home, you know. We're not afraid of anything when we go home. There's no such thing as fear. And we need to remember that here. And that's what helps us become the powerful, magnificent, sovereign beings that we are really, truly here to be. So, follow me on whatever way you find me. The Empress of E is my new deal on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me under Connections Resource Center. You can find me under True Leading Edge Consulting. You can find me under Brenda Fine. That's me. That's where you'll find me and all the other places too. Be well. Stay grounded. Breathe your way through it. Breathe your way through it. My friend Merlin always says, be in the world but not of it. We're kind of like a cloak around you. It's important, you know, because we are here. We are in the world, but we aren't of it. We really aren't. This is not us. You see, it's just a reflection of parts of us, and we are all one. So we can do our jobs, and we can do what it takes to get us back to that oneness space. But ultimately, taking care of you, staying grounded, honoring you and the divine being that you are. That's what your job is. Get happy, hold the vibration so everybody else can find their way to it too. And that's when that era of peace comes back. When we can all hold a place and a vibration consistently of joy, harmony. Until then, we're all in it together. And this, by the way, is my view out of the whole. That's all I get, people. That's all I get. Everybody else is in it. I only get this much of a view. I'm right here along with you. Things are moving. Let's keep it that way. We're all about evolution. It's all about moving forward. Acceleration, expansion, growth. Enjoy. It's a wonderful experience. Remember, it's all about the energy. So hold yours in the right space, and all good things will happen. Until then, till the next time anyway. Namaste. Enjoy your weekend.